FC Barcelona. Football Club Barcelona, commonly known as FC Barcelona and colloquially as Barça, is a professional football club. Based in Barcelona, Catalonia, Spain, that competes in La Liga, the top flight of Spanish football. Founded in 1899 by a group of Swiss, Catalan, German, and English footballers led by Joan Gamper, the club has become a symbol of Catalan culture and Catalanism, hence the motto Mis Qun Club. Unlike many other football clubs, the supporters own and operate Barcelona. It is the third most valuable football club in the world, worth $5.6 billion, and the world's fourth richest football club in terms of revenue, with an annual turnover of €800.1 million. The official Barcelona anthem is the Cant del Barça, written by Joan Pikers and Josep Maria Espinas. Barcelona traditionally play in dark shades of blue and garnet stripes, hence nicknamed Blaugrana. Barcelona are one of the world's most decorated clubs. Domestically, Barcelona has won a record 78 trophies, 27 La Liga, 31 Copa del Rey, 15 Supercopa de España, 3 Copa Eva Duarte, and 2 Copa de la Liga titles, as well as being the record holder for the latter four competitions. In international club football, the club has won 22 European and worldwide titles, 5 UEFA Champions League titles, a record 4 UEFA Cup Winners' Cups, 5 UEFA Super Cups, a record 3 Intercities Fairs Cups, a joint record 2 Latin Cups, and 3 FIFA Club World Cups. Barcelona was ranked first in the International Federation of Football History and Statistics Club World Ranking for 1997, 2009, 2011, 2012, and 2015, and occupies the 9th position on the UEFA Club Rankings as of May 2023. The club has a long-standing rivalry with Real Madrid, and matches between the two teams are referred to as El Clásico. Barcelona is one of the most widely supported teams in the world, and the club has one of the largest social media followings in the world among sports teams. Barcelona players have won a joint record 12 Ballon d'Or awards, with recipients including Johan Cruyff, as well as a record 6 FIFA World Player of the Year awards, with winners including Romario, Ronaldo, Rivaldo, Ronaldinho, and Lionel Messi. In 2010, 3 players who came through the club's youth academy, Lionel Messi, Andrés Iniesta and Xavi, were chosen as the 3 best players in the world in the Ballon d'Or ranking, an unprecedented feat for players from the same football academy. Additionally, players representing the club have won a record 8 European Golden Shoe awards. Barcelona is one of 3 founding members of the Primera Division that have never been relegated from the top division since its inception in 1929, along with Athletic Bilbao and Real Madrid. In 2009, Barcelona became the first Spanish club to win the continental treble consisting of La Liga, Copa del Rey and the UEFA Champions League, and also became the first European football club to win 6 out of 6 competitions in a single year, by also winning the Spanish Super Cup, UEFA Super Cup and FIFA Club World Cup. In 2011, the club became European champions again, winning 5 trophies. This Barcelona team, which won 14 trophies in just 4 years under Pep Guardiola, is considered by some in the sport to be the greatest team of all time. By winning their 5th Champions League trophy in 2015 under Luis Enrique, Barcelona became the first European football club in history to achieve the continental treble twice. History: 1899, 1922, beginnings. On the 22nd of October, 1899, Swiss Hans Gamper placed an advertisement in Los Deportes declaring his wish to form a football club. A positive response resulted in a meeting at the Gimnasio Sol on the 29th of November. 11 players attended: Walter Wild, Luis de Osso, Bartomeu Terradas, Otto Kunzel, Otto Meyer, Enrique Ducal, Pec Abbott, Carles Pujol, Josep Lobet, John Parsons, and William Parsons, and formed Football Club Barcelona. FC Barcelona had a successful start in regional and national cups, competing in the Campionat de Catalunya and the Copa del Rey. In 1901, the club participated in the first football competition played on the Iberian Peninsula, the Copa Macaya, narrowly losing to Hispania AC, but in the following year, Barca won the tournament, the club's first ever piece of silverware, and then participated in the first Copa del Rey, losing 1-2 to Vizcaya in the final. In 1908, Hans Gamper, now known as Joan Gamper, became club president, attempting to prevent Barcelona from shutting down. The club was struggling financially and socially, as well as in performance. They had not won a competition since the Campionat de Catalunya in 1905. He said in a meeting, "Barcelona cannot die and must not die. If there is nobody who is going to try, then I will assume the responsibility of running the club from now on." He was club president on 5 separate occasions between 1908 and 1925, spending a total of 25 years in the role. One of his main achievements was ensuring Barca acquired its own stadium and thus generated a stable income. On the 14th of March, 1909, the team moved into the Camp de la Industria, a stadium with a capacity of 8,000. To celebrate their new surroundings, the club conducted a logo contest the following year. Carles Comamala won the contest, and his suggestion became the crest that the club still wears, with some minor changes as of the present day. The stadium is regarded as the main element that helped the club grow in the 1910s and become a dominant team, winning 3 successive Campionats de Catalunya between 1909 and 1911, 3 Copa del Rey in 4 years between 1910 and 1913, and 4 successive Pyrenees Cup between the inaugural year in 1910 and 1913. The Pyrenees Cup was one of the earliest international club cups in Europe. It consisted of the best teams of Languedoc, Midi and Aquitaine, southern France, the Basque Country and Catalonia, all former members of the Marca Hispanica region. The contest was the most prestigious in that era. Notable figures of Barca's first great team include Carles Comamala, Alfredo Massana, Amet Chazura, Paco Bru, and Jack Greenwell. The latter became the club's first full-time coach in 1917. During the same period, the club changed its official language from Castilian to Catalan and gradually evolved into an important symbol of Catalan identity. For many fans, participating in the club had less to do with the game itself and more with being a part of the club's collective identity. On the 4th of February, 1917, the club held its first tribute match to honor Ramon Torralba, who played from 1913 to 1928. The match was against local side Terrassa, where Barcelona won the match 6-2. Gamper simultaneously launched a campaign to recruit more club members, and by 1922, the club had more than 20,000, who helped finance a new stadium. The club then moved to the new Les Cortès, which they inaugurated the same year. Les Cortès had an initial capacity of 30,000, and in the 1940s it was expanded to 60,000. In 1912, Gamper recruited Paulino Alcantara, the club's 7th all-time topscorer. In 1917, Gamper also recruited Jack Greenwell as Barcelona's first full-time manager. After this hiring, the club's fortunes began to improve on the field and soon enjoyed its first golden age. Along with Alcantara, the Barca team under Greenwell also included Sajababa, Ricardo Zamora, Josep Sarmitir, Felix Sesumaga, and Franz Platko. This team won 9 out of 10 Campionats de Catalunya between 1919 and 1928 and 2 Copa del Rey titles in 1920 and 1922. In total, during the Gamper-led era, Barcelona won 11 Campionats de Catalunya, 6 Copa del Rey and 4 Pyrenees Cups. 1923, 1931, Primo de Rivera, and First Golden Age. On the 14th of June, 1925, in a spontaneous reaction against Primo de Rivera's dictatorship, the crowd in the stadium jeered the Royal March. As a reprisal, the ground was closed for 6 months and Gamper was forced to relinquish the presidency of the club. This coincided with the club's transition to professional football. The first time the directors of Barcelona publicly claimed to operate a professional football club was in 1926. On the 3rd of July, 1927, the club held a second testimonial match for Paulino Alcantara against the Spanish national team. To kick off the match, local journalist and pilot Josep Canudas dropped the ball onto the pitch from his aeroplane. In 1928, victory in the Spanish Cup was celebrated with a poem titled Ode a Platco, which was written by a member of the Generation of 27, Rafael Alberti, inspired by the performance of the Barcelona goalkeeper, Franz Platko. On the 23rd of June, 1929, Barcelona won the inaugural Spanish League. A year after winning the championship, on the 30th of July, 1930, Gamper committed suicide after a period of depression brought on by personal and financial problems. 1931, 1939, Republic and Civil War, assassination of President Sunyol. Although they continued to have players of the standing of Josep Escala, the club now entered a period of decline, in which political conflict overshadowed sports throughout society. Attendance at matches dropped as the citizens of Barcelona were occupied with discussing political matters. Although the team won the Campionat de Catalunya in 1930, 1931, 1932, 1934, 1936, and 1938, they did not win at a national level in this time, with the exception of their 1937 disputed title in the Mediterranean League. A month after the Spanish Civil War began in 1936, several players from Barcelona enlisted in the ranks of those who fought against the military uprising, along with players from Athletic Bilbao. On the 6th of August, Falangist soldiers near Guadarrama murdered club president Josep Sunyol, a representative of the pro-independence political party. He was dubbed the martyr of Barcelonism, and his assassination was a defining moment in the history of FC Barcelona and Catalan identity. In the summer of 1937, the squad was on tour in Mexico and the United States, where it was received as an ambassador of the Second Spanish Republic. The tour led to the financial security of the club, but also resulted in half of the team seeking asylum in Mexico and France, making it harder for the remaining team to contest for trophies. On the 16th of March, 1938, Barcelona came under aerial bombardment from the Italian Air Force, causing more than 3,000 deaths, with one of the bombs hitting the club's offices. A few months later, Catalonia came under occupation, and as a symbol of the undisciplined Catalanism, the club, now down to just 3,486 members, faced a number of restrictions. All signs of regional nationalism, including language, flag and other signs of separatism were banned throughout Spain. The Catalan flag was banned and the club were prohibited from using non-Spanish names. These measures forced the club to change its name to Club de Futbol Barcelona and to remove the Catalan flag from its crest. 1940, 1957, post-war, and start of Franco's regime. In 1943, Barcelona faced rivals Real Madrid in the semi-finals of Copa del Generalissimo. The first match at Les Corts was won by Barcelona 3-0. Real Madrid comfortably won the second leg, beating Barcelona 11-1. According to football writer Sid Lowe, there have been relatively few mentions of the game and it is not a result that has been particularly celebrated in Madrid. Indeed, the 11-1 occupies a far more prominent place in Barcelona's history. This was the game that first formed the identification of Madrid as the team of the dictatorship and Barcelona as its victims. It has been alleged by local journalist Paco Ogalar that Barcelona's players were threatened by police in the changing room, though nothing was ever proven. Despite the difficult political situation, CF Barcelona enjoyed considerable success during the 1940s and 1950s. In 1945, with Josep Sarmitir as coach and players like César, Ramallets and Velasco, They won La Liga for the first time since 1929. They added 2 more titles in 1948 and 1949. In 1949, they also won the first Copa Latina. In June 1950, Barcelona signed Laszlo Kubola, who was to be an important figure at the club. On a rainy Sunday of 1951, the crowd left Les Corts Stadium after a 2-1 win against Santander by foot, refusing to catch any trams, and surprising the Franquist authorities. A tram strike was taking place in Barcelona, and it received the support of Blaugrana fans. Events like this made CF Barcelona represent much more than just Catalonia. Many progressive Spaniards saw the club as a staunch defender of rights and freedoms. Coach Ferdinand Doric and Laszlo Kubola led the team to 5 different trophies in 1952. These were La Liga, the Copa del Generalissimo, the Copa Latina, the Copa Eva Duarte, and the Copa Martini and Rossi. In 1953, the club won La Liga and the Copa del Generalissimo again. 1957, 1978, Club de Football Barcelona. With Helenio Herrera as coach, a young Luis Suarez, the European Footballer of the Year in 1960, and 2 Hungarians recommended by Kubola, Sander Kocsis and Zoltán Csiba, the team won another national double in 1959 and a La Liga and Fez Cup double in 1960. In 1961, they became the first club to beat Real Madrid in a European Cup playoff. However, they lost 2-3 to Benfica in the final. The 1960s were less successful for the club, with Real Madrid monopolizing La Liga. The completion of Camp Nou, finished in 1957, meant the club had little money to spend on new players. The 1960s saw the emergence of Josep Maria Fust and Carles Rixach, and the club won the Copa del Generalissimo in 1963 and the Fez Cup in 1966. Barcelona beat Real Madrid 1-0 in the 1968 Copa del Generalissimo final at the Santiago Bernabéu in front of dictator Francisco Franco, with coach Salvador Artigas, a former Republican pilot in the Civil War. With the end of Franco's dictatorship in 1974, the club changed its official name back to Football Club Barcelona and reverted the crest to its original design, including the original letters. Johan Cruyff joined in the 1973-74 season. He was bought for a world record £920,000 from Ajax. Already an established player with Ajax, Cruyff quickly won over the Barcelona fans when he told the European press that he chose Barcelona over Real Madrid because he could not play for a club associated with Francisco Franco. He further indid himself when he named his son Jordi, after the local Catalan Saint George. Next to champions like Juan Manuel Asensi, Carles Rixach and Hugo Sotil, he helped the club win the 1973-74 season for the first time since 1960, defeating Real Madrid 5-0 at the Santiago Bernabéu en route. He was crowned European Footballer of the Year in 1973 during his first season with Barcelona, his second Ballon d'Or win. He won his first while playing for Ajax in 1971. Cruyff received this award a third time in 1974, while he was still with Barcelona. 1978, 2000, Núñez and stabilization. In 1978, Josep Luis Núñez became the first elected president of FC Barcelona. Since then, the members of Barcelona have elected the club president. The process of electing a president of FC Barcelona was closely tied to Spain's transition to democracy in 1974 and the end of Franco's dictatorship. The new president's main objective was to develop Barcelona into a world-class club by giving it stability both on and off the pitch. His presidency lasted 22 years. It deeply affected the image of Barcelona, as Núñez held to a strict policy regarding wages and discipline, letting go of such players as Diego Maradona, Romario and Ronaldo rather than meeting their demands. The club won its first European Cup Winners' Cup on the 16th of May, 1979, beating Fortuna Düsseldorf 4-3 in Basel. More than 30,000 traveling Blaugrana fans watched the final. The same year, Núñez began to invest in the club's youth program by converting La Masia into a dormitory for young academy players from abroad. The name of the dormitory would later become synonymous with the youth program of Barcelona. In June 1982, Diego Maradona was signed for a world record fee of £5 million from Boca Juniors. In the following season, under coach César Luis Menotti, Barcelona won the Copa del Rey, beating Real Madrid. Maradona soon left to join Napoli. At the start of the 1984-85 season, Terry Venables was hired as manager. He won La Liga with noteworthy displays by German midfielder Bernd Schuster. The next season, he took the team to their second European Cup final. The team lost on penalties to Steaua Bucure in Seville. Around this time, tensions began to arise between what was perceived as President Núñez's dictatorial rule and the nationalistic support group, Boixos Noirs. The group, identified with a left-wing separatism, repeatedly demanded the resignation of Núñez and openly defied him through chants and banners at matches. At the same time, Barcelona experienced an eruption in skinheads, who often identified with a right-wing separatism. The skinheads slowly transferred the Boixo's noir ideology from liberalism to fascism, which caused division within the group and a sudden support for Núñez's presidency. Inspired by British hooligans, the remaining Boixo's noir became violent, causing havoc leading to large-scale arrests. After the 1986 FIFA World Cup, Barcelona signed the English top scorer Gary Lineker, along with goalkeeper Andoni Zubizarreta, but the team could not achieve success, as Schuster was excluded from the team. Terry Venables was fired at the beginning of the 1987-88 season and replaced with Luis Aragons. The season finished with the players rebelling against President Núñez, in an event known as the Hesperia Mutiny, and a 1-0 victory in the Copa del Rey final against Real Sociedad. In 1988, Johan Cruyff returned to the club, this time as manager. He assembled what would later be dubbed the Dream Team. He used Spanish players like Pep Guardiola, José María Baqueiro, John Andoni Goicoechea, Miguel Angel Nadal, and Ksiki Begiristain, and signed international players such as Ronald Koeman, Michael Laudrup, Romario, and Hristo Stoichkov. 10 years after the inception of the youth program, La Masia, its players began to graduate and play for their first team. Pep Guardiola, the future coach of Barcelona, was one of the first graduates and would go on to receive international recognition. Under Cruyff's guidance, Barcelona won 4 consecutive La Liga titles from 1991 to 1994. They beat Sampdoria in both the 1989 UEFA Cup Winners' Cup final and the 1992 European Cup final at Wembley, with a free-kick goal from Dutch international Ronald Koeman. They also won a Copa del Rey in 1990, the European Super Cup in 1992 and 3 Supercopa de España trophies. With 11 trophies, Cruyff became the club's most successful manager at that point. He also became the club's longest consecutive serving manager, serving 8 years. Cruyff did not win any trophies in his final 2 seasons, and fell out with President Josep Luis Núñez, resulting in his departure. Reacting to Cruyff's departure, an independent protest group was organized by Armand Carabén, Joan Laporta, and Alphonse Godal. The objective of the group, called El Elefant Blau, was to oppose the presidency of Núñez, which they regarded as a corruption of the club's traditional values. Laporta would later take over the presidency of Barcelona in 2003. Cruyff was briefly replaced by Bobby Robson, who took charge of the club for a single season in 1996-97. He recruited Ronaldo for a world record transfer fee from his previous club, PSV, and delivered a cup treble, winning the Copa del Rey, UEFA Cup Winners' Cup and the Supercopa de España, with Ronaldo registering 47 goals in 49 games. Despite his success, Robson was only ever seen as a short-term solution while the club waited for Louis van Gaal to become available. Ronaldo soon left for Inter Milan in another world record transfer. However, new heroes emerged, such as Luis Figo, Patrick Kluivert, Luis Enrique, and Rivaldo, and the team won a Copa del Rey and La Liga double in 1998. In 1999, the club celebrated its centenary, winning the Primera Division title, and Rivaldo became the 4th Barcelona player to be awarded European Footballer of the Year. Despite this domestic success, the failure to emulate Real Madrid in the Champions League led to Van Gaal and Núñez resigning in 2000. 2008. Exit Núñez, enter Laporta. The departures of Núñez and Van Gaal were hardly noticed by the fans when compared to that of Luis Figo, then club vice-captain. Figo had become a cult hero and was considered by Catalans to be one of their own. Barcelona fans, however, were distraught by Figo's decision to join arch-rivals Real Madrid, and, during subsequent visits to Camp Nou, Figo was given an extremely hostile reception. Upon his first return, a piglet's head and a full bottle of whiskey were thrown at him from the crowd. The next 3 years saw the club in decline, and managers came and went. Van Gaal was replaced by Lorenzo Serra Ferrer who, despite an extensive investment in players in the summer of 2000, presided over a mediocre league campaign and a first-round Champions League exit, and was dismissed late in the season. Long-serving Barcelona deputy coach Carles Rixach was appointed as his replacement, initially on a temporary basis, and managed to at least steer the club to the last Champions League spot on the final day of the season against Valencia via an exceptional performance from Rivaldo, who completed arguably the greatest hat-trick in history with an overhead bicycle kick winner in the final minute to secure qualification. Despite better form in La Liga and a good run to the semi-finals of the Champions League, Rixach was never viewed as a long-term solution, and that summer Van Gaal returned to the club for a second spell as manager. What followed, despite another decent Champions League performance, was one of the worst La Liga campaigns in the club's history, with the team as low as 15th in February 2003. This led to Van Gaal's resignation and replacement for the rest of the campaign by Radomir Antic, though a sixth-place finish was the best that he could manage. At the end of the season, Antic's short-term contract was not renewed, and club president Joan Gaspart resigned, his position having been made completely untenable by such a disastrous season on top of the club's overall decline in fortunes since he became president 3 years prior. After the disappointment of the Gaspart era, the combination of a new young president, Joan Laporta, and a young new manager, former Dutch and AC Milan star Frank Rijkaard, saw the club bounce back. On the field, an influx of international players, including Ronaldinho, Deco, Henrik Larsson, Ludovic Giuliani, Samuel Eto'o, Rafael Marquez and Edgar Davids, combined with homegrown Spanish players, such as Carles Puyol, Andres Iniesta, Xavi and Victor Valdés, led to the club's return to success. Barcelona won La Liga and the Supercopa de España in 2004-05, and Ronaldinho and Eto'o were voted first and third, respectively, in the FIFA World Player of the Year awards. In the 2005-06 season, Barcelona repeated their league and Supercopa successes. The pinnacle of the league season arrived at the Santiago Bernabéu in a 3-0 win over Real Madrid. It was Rijkaard's second victory at the Bernabéu, making him the first Barcelona manager to win there twice. Ronaldinho's performance was so impressive that after his second goal, which was Barcelona's third, some Real Madrid fans gave him a standing ovation. In the Champions League, Barcelona beat English club Arsenal in the final. Trailing 1-0 to a 10-man Arsenal and with less than 15 minutes remaining, they came back to win 2-1, with substitute Henrik Larsson in his final appearance for the club, setting up goals for Samuel Eto'o and fellow substitute Juliano Belletti, for the club's first European Cup victory in 14 years. Despite being the favourites and starting strongly, Barcelona finished the 2006-07 season without trophies. A pre-season US tour was later blamed for a string of injuries to key players, including leading scorer Eto'o and rising star Lionel Messi. There was open feuding as Eto'o publicly criticised coach Rijkaard and Ronaldinho. Ronaldinho also admitted that a lack of fitness affected his form. In La Liga, Barcelona were in first place for much of the season, but inconsistency in the new year saw Real Madrid overtake them to become champions. Barcelona advanced to the semi-finals of the Copa del Rey, winning the first leg against Getafe 5-2, with a goal from Messi bringing comparison to Diego Maradona's goal of the century, but then lost the second leg 4-0. They took part in the 2006 FIFA Club World Cup, but were beaten by a late goal in the final against Brazilian side Internacional. In the Champions League, Barcelona were knocked out of the competition in the last 16 by eventual runners-up Liverpool on away goals. Barcelona finished the 2007-08 season third in La Liga and reached the semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League and Copa del Rey, both times losing to the eventual champions, Manchester United and Valencia, respectively. The day after a 4-1 defeat to Real Madrid, Joan Laporta announced that Barcelona B coach Pep Guardiola would take over Frank Rijkaard's duties on the 30th of June, 2008. 2008-2012, Guardiola era. Barcelona B youth manager Pep Guardiola took over Frank Rijkaard's duties at the conclusion of the season. Guardiola brought with him the now famous tiki-taka style of play he had been taught during his time in the Barcelona youth teams. In the process, Guardiola sold Ronaldinho and Deco and started building the Barcelona team around Xavi, Andrés Iniesta and Lionel Messi. Barca beat Athletic Bilbao 4-1 in the 2009 Copa del Rey final, winning the competition for a record-breaking 25th time. A historic 2-6 victory against Real Madrid followed 3 days later and ensured that Barcelona became 2008-09 La Liga champions. Barca finished the season by beating Manchester United 2-0 at the Stadio Olimpico in Rome, with goals from Eto'o and Messi, to win their third Champions League title and complete the first ever treble. Won by a Spanish team. The team went on to win the 2009 Supercopa de España against Athletic Bilbao and the 2009 UEFA Super Cup against Shakhtar Donetsk, becoming the first European club to win both domestic and European Super Cups following a treble. In December 2009, Barcelona won the 2009 Club World Cup. Barcelona accomplished 2 new records in Spanish football in 2010 as they retained the La Liga trophy with 99 points and won the Supercopa de España for a 9th time. After Laporta's departure from the club in June 2010, Sandro Rosell was soon elected as the new president. The elections were held on the 13th of June, where he received 61.35% of total votes. Rosell signed David Villa from Valencia for €40 million and Javier Mascherano from Liverpool for €19 million. At the 2010 World Cup in South Africa, Barcelona players that had graduated from the club's La Masia youth system would play a major role in Spain becoming world champions. On the 11th of July, 7 players who came through the academy participated in the final, 6 of whom were Barcelona players who started the match, with Iniesta scoring the winning goal against the Netherlands. In November 2010, Barcelona defeated their main rival Real Madrid 5-0 in El Clásico. At the ceremony for the 2010 FIFA Ballon d'Or in December, Barcelona's La Masia became the first youth academy ever to have all 3 finalists for the Ballon d'Or, with Messi, Iniesta and Xavi being named the 3 best players in the world for 2010. In the 2010-11 season, Barcelona retained the La Liga trophy, their 3rd title in succession, finishing with 96 points. In April 2011, the club reached the Copa del Rey final, losing 1-0 to Real Madrid at the Mestalla Stadium in Valencia. In May, Barcelona defeated Manchester United in the 2011 Champions League Final 3-1 held at Wembley Stadium, a repeat of the 2009 final, winning their 4th European Cup. In August 2011, La Masia graduate Cesc Fabregas was bought from Arsenal and he would help Barcelona defend the Spanish Super Cup against Real Madrid. The Super Cup victory brought the total number of official trophies to 73, matching the number of titles won by Real Madrid. Later the same month, Barcelona won the UEFA Super Cup defeating Porto 2-0 with goals from Messi and Fabregas. This extended the club's overall number of official trophies to 74, surpassing Real Madrid's total amount of official trophies. The Super Cup victory also saw Guardiola win his 12th trophy out of a possible 15 in his 3 years at the helm of the club, becoming the all-time record holder of most titles won as a coach at Barcelona. In December, Barcelona won the Club World Cup for a record 2nd time since its establishment, after defeating 2011 Copa Libertadores holders Santos 4-0 in the final thanks to 2 goals from Messi and goals from Xavi and Fabregas. As a result, the overall trophy haul during the reign of Guardiola was further extended and saw Barcelona win their 13th trophy out of a possible 16. Considered by some in the sport to be the greatest team of all time, with Manchester United manager Alex Ferguson stating, "They mesmerize you with their passing, Their 5 trophies in 2011 saw them receive the Laureus World Sports Award for Team of the Year. In the 2011-12 season, Barcelona lost the semi-finals of the Champions League against Chelsea. Guardiola, who had been on a rolling contract and had faced criticism over his recent tactics and squad selections, announced that he would step down as manager on the 30th of June and be succeeded by assistant Tito Vilanova. Guardiola finished his tenure with Barca winning the Copa del Rey final 3-0, bringing the tally to 14 trophies that Barca had won under his coaching. It was announced in summer of 2012 that Tito Vilanova, assistant manager at Barcelona, would take over from Pep Guardiola as manager. Following his appointment, Barcelona went on an incredible run that saw them hold the top spot on the league table for the entire season, recording only 2 losses and amassing 100 points. Their top scorer once again was Lionel Messi, who scored 46 goals in La Liga, including 2 hat-tricks. On the 11th of May, 2013, Barcelona were crowned as the Spanish football champions for the 22nd time, still with 4 games left to play. Ultimately, Barcelona ended the season 15 points clear of rivals Real Madrid, despite losing 2-1 to them at the beginning of March. They reached the semi-final stage of both the Copa del Rey and the Champions League, going out to Real Madrid and Bayern Munich respectively. On the 19th of July, it was announced that Vilanova was resigning as Barcelona manager because his throat cancer had returned, and he would be receiving treatment for the second time after a 3-month medical leave in December 2012. 2014-2020, Bartomeu era. On the 22nd of July, 2013, Gerardo Tata Martino was confirmed as manager of Barcelona for the 2013-14 season. Barcelona won the 2013 Supercopa de España 1-1 on away goals. On the 23rd of January, 2014, Sandro Rosell resigned as president by the admissibility of a complaint for alleged misappropriation following the transfer of Neymar. Josep Maria Bartomeu replaced him to finish the term. Barcelona won the treble in the 2014-15 season, winning La Liga, Copa del Rey and Champions League titles, and became the first European team to have won the treble twice. On the 17th of May, the club clinched their 23rd La Liga title after defeating Atletico Madrid. This was Barcelona's 7th La Liga title in the last 10 years. On the 30th of May, the club defeated Athletic Bilbao in the Copa del Rey final at Camp Nou. On 6 June, Barcelona won the 2015 Champions League final with a 3-1 win against Juventus, which completed the treble, the club's second in 6 years. Barcelona's attacking trio of Messi, Suarez and Neymar, dubbed MSN, scored 122 goals in all competitions, the most in a season for an attacking trio in Spanish football history. On the 11th of August, Barcelona started the 2015-16 season winning a joint record 5th European Super Cup by beating Sevilla 5-4 in the 2015 UEFA Super Cup. They ended the year with a 3-0 win over Argentine club River Plate in the 2015 Club World Cup final on the 20th of December to win the trophy for a record 3rd time, with Suarez, Messi and Iniesta the top 3 players of the tournament. The Club World Cup was Barcelona's 20th international title, a record only matched by Egyptian club Al Ahly. By scoring 180 goals in 2015 in all competitions, Barcelona set the record for most goals scored in a calendar year, breaking Real Madrid's record of 178 goals scored in 2014. On the 10th of February, 2016, qualifying for the 6th Copa del Rey final in the last 8 seasons, Luis Enrique's Barcelona broke the club's record of 28 consecutive games unbeaten in all competitions set by Guardiola's team in the 2010-11 season, with a 1-1 draw with Valencia in the second leg of the 2015-16 Copa del Rey. With a 5-1 win at Rayo Vallecano on the 3rd of March, Barcelona's 35th match unbeaten, the club broke Real Madrid's Spanish record of 34 games unbeaten in all competitions from the 1988-1989 season. After Barca reached 39 matches unbeaten, their run ended on the 2nd of April, 2016 with a 2-1 defeat to Real Madrid at Camp Nou. On the 14th of May, 2016, Barcelona won their 6th La Liga title in 8 seasons. The front three of Messi, Suarez, and Neymar finished the season with 131 goals, breaking the record they had set the previous year for most goals by an attacking trio in a single season. On the 8th of March, 2017, Barcelona made the largest comeback in Champions League history in the 2016-17 UEFA Champions League round of 16 second leg, defeating Paris Saint-Germain 6-1, despite losing the first leg in France by a score of 4-0. On the 29th of May, 2017, former player Ernesto Valverde was named as Luis Enrique's successor. On the 20th of September, 2017, Barcelona issued a statement exercising their stance on the 2017 Catalan referendum saying, FC Barcelona, in holding the utmost respect for its diverse body of members, will continue to support the will of the majority of Catalan people, and will do so in a civil, peaceful, and exemplary way. The match against UD Las Palmas on the referendum day was requested to be postponed by the Barcelona board due to heavy violence in Catalonia, but it was declined by La Liga, therefore being held behind closed doors. Two directors, Jordi Mons and Carles Villarrubi, handed in their resignations in protest at the games being played. Winning La Liga for the 2017-18 season, on the 9th of May, 2018, Barcelona defeated Villarreal 5-1 to set the longest unbeaten streak in La Liga history. On the 27th of April, 2019, Barcelona won their 26th La Liga title. However, the La Liga title was overshadowed by an improbable Champions League exit to Liverpool in the semi-finals, with Barca losing the second leg 0-4 after being up 3-0 after a home victory. On the 13th of January, 2020, following the loss to Atletico Madrid in the Spanish Super Cup, former Real Betis coach Quique Setién replaced Ernesto Valverde as the new head coach of Barcelona. Ultimately, Barcelona finished the season trophyless for first time in 12 years. On the 17th of August, the club confirmed that Setién had been removed from his position as manager, with director of football Eric Abidal also dismissed from his position. 2 days later, Ronald Koeman was appointed as the new head coach of Barcelona. Rising dissatisfaction among supporters due to worsening finances and decline on the pitch in the previous season led to Josep Maria Bartomeu announcing his resignation as president on the 27th of October, 2020, to avoid facing a vote of no confidence from the club members. 2021, present, return of Laporta and post-Messi era. On the 7th of March, 2021, Joan Laporta was elected president of Barcelona with 54.28% of the vote. Barcelona won their 31st Copa del Rey, their only trophy under Ronald Koeman, after defeating Athletic Bilbao 4-0 in the final. In August 2021, Barcelona found themselves unable to comply with La Liga's financial fair play requirements, and revealed a club debt of Euro 1.35 billion wage bill accounting for 103% of total income. Negotiations with Lionel Messi, now in the final year of his contract, had been ongoing for some time. However, on the 5th of August, 2021, Barcelona announced that they would be unable to re-sign Messi to an extension due to La Liga regulations. This was despite the fact that the club and Messi had reached an agreement over the details of a new contract. Messi departed the club after 21 years as a Barca player, and the club's all-time leading goalscorer, and signed on a free transfer with French club Paris Saint-Germain. The financial implications also restricted Barcelona in the transfer market, and as a result most of the incoming players were either free transfers or loans, and they had to reduce players' wages to register the incoming players. Poor performances in La Liga and the Champions League led to the sacking of Ronald Koeman on the 28th of October, with a club legend Xavi replacing him. Xavi could not reverse the fortunes in the Champions League, and Barcelona dropped down to the Europa League for the first time since 2003-04, subsequently exiting in the quarter-finals. In the domestic league, Xavi improved Barca's form and guided them from 9th to 2nd, guaranteeing a Champions League spot next season. However, this also meant Barcelona finished trophyless after earlier Supercopa and Copa del Rey exits. On the 15th of January, 2023, Xavi guided Barcelona to their first trophy since the 2021 Copa del Rey, as the Catalans defeated Real Madrid 3-1 in the Supercopa de España final. Support. The nickname Cula for a Barcelona supporter is derived from the Catalan cul, as the spectators at the first stadium, Camp de la Industria, sat with their culls over the stand. In Spain, about 25% of the population is said to be Barca sympathizers, second behind Real Madrid, supported by 32% of the population. Throughout Europe, Barcelona is the favorite second-choice club. The club's membership figures have seen a significant increase from 100,000 in the 2003-04 season to 170,000 in September 2009, the sharp rise being attributed to the influence of Ronaldinho and then-President Joan Laporta's media strategy that focused on Spanish and English online media. As of the 31st of May, 2023, the club has 150,317 memberships, called socios. In addition to membership, as of March 2022 there are 1,264 officially registered fan clubs, called peñas, around the world. The fan clubs promote Barcelona in their locality and receive beneficial offers when visiting Barcelona. Among the best-supported teams globally, Barcelona has the second highest social media following in the world among sports teams, with over 103 million Facebook fans as of December 2021, only behind Real Madrid with 111 million. The club has had many prominent people among its supporters, including Pope John Paul II, who was an honorary member, and former Prime Minister of Spain José Luis Rodríguez Zapatero. Club rivalries. El Clásico. There is often a fierce rivalry between the two strongest teams in a national league, and this is particularly the case in La Liga, where the game between Barcelona and Real Madrid is known as the Clásic. From the start of national competitions, the clubs were seen as representatives of two rival regions in Spain, Catalonia and Castile, as well as of the two cities. The rivalry reflects what many regard as the political and cultural tensions felt between Catalans and the Castilians, seen by one author as a reenactment of the Spanish Civil War. Over the years, the head-to-head record between the two clubs is 102 victories for Madrid, 100 victories for Barcelona, and 52 draws. As early as the 1930s, Barcelona had developed a reputation as a symbol of Catalan identity, opposed to the centralizing tendencies of Madrid. In 1936, when Francisco Franco started the coup d'état against the democratic Second Spanish Republic, the president of Barcelona, Josep Sunyol, member of the Republican left of Catalonia and deputy to the Cortes, was arrested and executed without trial by Franco's troops. During the dictatorships of Miguel Primo de Rivera and especially Francisco Franco, all regional languages and identities in Spain were frowned upon and restrained. As such, most citizens of Barcelona were in strong opposition to the fascist-like regime. In this period, Barcelona gained their motto Mis Qun Club because of its alleged connection to Catalan nationalist as well as to progressive beliefs. There's an ongoing controversy as to what extent Franco's rule influenced the activities and on-pitch results of both Barcelona and Real Madrid. Fans of both clubs tend to exaggerate the myths favoring their narratives. Most historians agree that Franco did not have a preferred football team, but his Spanish nationalist beliefs led him to associate himself with the establishment teams, such as Atlético Aviación and Madrid FC. On the other hand, he also wanted the renamed CF Barcelona succeed as Spanish team rather than a Catalan one. During the early years of Franco's rule, Real Madrid were not particularly successful, winning 2 Copa del Generalissimo titles and a Copa Eva Duarte. Barcelona claimed 3 league titles, 1 Copa del Generalissimo and 1 Copa Eva Duarte. During that period, Atletico Aviación were believed to be the preferred team over Real Madrid. The most contested stories of the period include Real Madrid's 11-1 home win against Barcelona in the Copa del Generalissimo, where the Catalan team alleged intimidation, and the controversial transfer of Alfredo Di Stefano to Real Madrid despite his agreement with Barcelona. The latter transfer was part of Real Madrid chairman Santiago Bernabéu's revolution that ushered in the era of unprecedented dominance. Bernabéu, himself a veteran of the Civil War who fought for Franco's forces, saw Real Madrid on top not only of Spanish but also European football, helping create the European Cup, the first true competition for Europe's best club sides. His vision was fulfilled when Real Madrid not only started winning consecutive league titles but also swept the first 5 editions of the European Cup in the 1950s. These events had a profound impact on Spanish football and influenced Franco's attitude. According to historians, during this time he realized the importance of Real Madrid for his regime's international image, and the club became his preferred team until his death. Fernando Maria Castiella, who served as Minister of Foreign Affairs under Franco from 1957 until 1969, noted that is the best embassy we have ever had. Franco died in 1975, and the Spanish transition to democracy soon followed. Under his rule, Real Madrid had won 14 league titles, 6 Copa del Generalissimo titles, 1 Copa Eva Duarte, 6 European Cups, 2 Latin Cups, and 1 Intercontinental Cup. In the same period, Barcelona had won 8 league titles, 9 Copa del Generalissimo titles, 3 Copa Eva Duarte titles, 3 Intercities Fairs Cups, and 2 Latin Cups. The rivalry was intensified during the 1950s when the clubs disputed the signing of Alfredo Di Stefano. Di Stefano had impressed both Barcelona and Real Madrid while playing for Los Millonarios in Bogotá, Colombia, during a players' strike in his native Argentina. Soon after Millonarios' return to Colombia, Barcelona directors visited Buenos Aires and agreed with River Plate, the last FIFA-affiliated team to have held Di Stefano's rights, for his transfer in 1954 for the equivalent of 150 million Italian lira. This started a battle between the two Spanish rivals for his rights. FIFA appointed Armando Muñoz Calero, former president of the Spanish Football Federation, as mediator. Calero decided to let Di Stefano play the 1953, 54, and 1955, 56 seasons in Madrid, and the 1954, 55, and 1956, 57 seasons in Barcelona. The agreement was approved by the Football Association and their respective clubs. Although the Catalans agreed, the decision created various discontent among the Blaugrana members and the president was forced to resign in September 1953. Barcelona sold Madrid their half-share, and Di Stefano moved to Los Blancos, signing a 4-year contract. Real paid 5.5 million Spanish pesetas for the transfer, plus a 1.3 million bonus for the purchase, an annual fee to be paid to the Millonarios, and a 16,000 salary for Di Stefano with a bonus double that of his teammates, for a total of 40% of the annual revenue of the Madrid club. Di Stefano became integral in the subsequent success achieved by Real Madrid, scoring twice in his first game against Barcelona. With him, Madrid won the first 5 editions of the European Cup. The 1960s saw the rivalry reach the European stage when Real Madrid and Barcelona met twice in the European Cup, with Madrid triumphing en route to their 5th consecutive title in 1959-60 and Barcelona prevailing en route to losing the final in 1960-61. In 2002, the European encounter between the clubs was dubbed the match of the century by Spanish media, and Madrid's win was watched by more than 500 million people. An intense fixture which is marked by its indiscipline in addition to memorable goal celebrations from both teams, often involving mocking the opposition. Such notable celebrations occurred in 2009 when Barcelona captain Carles Puyol kissed his Catalan armband in front of incensed Madrid fans at the Santiago Bernabéu Stadium, and in 2017 when Lionel Messi celebrated his 93rd minute winner for Barcelona against Real Madrid at the Bernabéu by taking off his Barcelona shirt and holding it up to incensed Real Madrid fans, with his name and number facing them. El Derbi Barcelona. Barca's local rival has always been Espanyol. Blanc-Iblaus, being one of the clubs granted royal patronage, was founded exclusively by Spanish football fans, unlike the multinational nature of Barca's primary board. The founding message of the club was clearly anti-Barcelona, and they disapprovingly saw FC Barcelona as a team of foreigners. The rivalry was strengthened by what Catalonians saw as a provocative representative of Madrid. Their original ground was in the affluent district of Soria. Traditionally, Espanyol was seen by the vast majority of Barcelona's citizens as a club which cultivated a kind of compliance to the central authority, in stark contrast to Barca's revolutionary spirit. Also in the 1960s and 1970s, while FC Barcelona acted as an integrating force for Catalonia's new arrivals from poorer regions of Spain expecting to find a better life, Espanyol drew their support mainly from sectors close to the regime such as policemen, military officers, civil servants, and career fascists. In 1918, Espanyol started a counter-petition against autonomy, which at that time had become a pertinent issue. Later on, an Espanyol supporter group would join the Phalangists in the Spanish Civil War, siding with the fascists. Despite these differences in ideology, the derby has always been more relevant to Espanyol supporters than Barcelona. One's due to the difference in objectives. In recent years the rivalry has become less political, as Espanyol translated its official name and anthem from Spanish to Catalan. Though it is the most played local derby in the history of La Liga, it is also the most unbalanced, with Barcelona overwhelmingly dominant. In the Primera Division league table, Espanyol has only managed to end above Barca on 3 occasions from 87 seasons, and the only all-Catalan Copa del Rey final was won by Barca in 1957. Espanyol has the consolation of achieving the largest margin win with a 6-0 in 1951, while Barcelona's biggest win was 5-0 on 7 occasions. Espanyol achieved a 2-1 win against Barca during the 2008-09 season, becoming the first team to defeat Barcelona at Camp Nou in their treble-winning season. Rivalry with AC Milan. One of Barcelona's rivals in European football is Italian club AC Milan, the team against which Barcelona has played the most matches. It is also the third most played match in European club competitions, behind Real Madrid, Juventus, and Real Madrid, Bayern Munich. Two of the most successful clubs in Europe, Milan has won 7 European Cups to Barca's 5, while both clubs have won a record 5 European Super Cups. Barcelona and Milan have won other continental titles, which make them the second and third most decorated teams in world football, with 19 and 14 titles respectively, both behind Real Madrid's 23. Barcelona leads the head-to-head record with 8 wins and 5 defeats. The first encounter between the two clubs was in the 1959-60 European Cup. They faced off in the round of 16 and Barca won the tie on a 7-1 aggregate score, while Milan had never knocked Barcelona out of the European Cup. They beat Johan Cruyff's Dream Team 4-0 in the 1994 Champions League final, despite being the underdogs. In 2013, however, Barcelona made a historic comeback from a 0-2 first-leg defeat in the round of 16 of the 2012-13 Champions League, winning 4-0 at Camp Nou. Ownership and finances. Along with Real Madrid, Athletic Bilbao, and Osasuna, Barcelona is organized as a registered association. Unlike a limited company, it is not possible to purchase shares in the club, but only membership. The members of Barcelona, called socios, form an assembly of delegates which is the highest governing body of the club. As of the 31st of May, 2023, the club has 150,317 socios. In 2010, Forbes evaluated Barcelona's worth to be around €752 million, ranking them fourth after Manchester United, Real Madrid and Arsenal, based on figures from the 2008-09 season. According to Deloitte, Barcelona had a recorded revenue of €366 million in the same period, ranking second to Real Madrid, who generated €401 million in revenue. In 2013, Forbes magazine ranked Barcelona the third most valuable sports team in the world, behind Real Madrid and Manchester United, with a value of $2.6 billion. In 2014, Forbes ranked them the second most valuable sports team in the world, worth $3.2 billion, and Deloitte ranked them the world's fourth richest football club in terms of revenue, with an annual turnover of €484.6 million. In 2017, Forbes ranked them the fourth most valuable sports team in the world with a team value of $3.64 billion. In 2018, Barcelona became the first sports team to surpass $1 billion in annual revenues. In November 2018, Barcelona became the first sports team with average first-team pay in excess of £10 million per year. However, years of profligate spending under the leadership of Josep Maria Bartomeu and other factors, such as the COVID-19 pandemic, saw the club's gross debt rise to about $1.4 billion in 2021, much of it short-term. On November 9, 2024, Barcelona announced its new sponsorship deal with Nike. It is said that it is the highest deal in football history. In popular culture, since its origins, Barcelona has had a close relationship with the world of culture, especially with Catalan culture. The club statutes from 1932 already said that Barça is an association of a cultural and sporting nature. The club and its players have been a source of inspiration for writers, musicians, visual artists, journalists, cartoonists, theatre, and film people. In literature, some great Catalan writers they were inspired by the club. In 1957, on the occasion of the inauguration of the Camp Nou, Josep Maria de Segarra dedicated a poem titled Blau I Grana. Poet Manuel Bosques Montalban wrote regularly about his vision of the team. Some expressions emerged that caught on in the popular imagination, such as identifying Barça with the unarmed army of Catalonia. He also wrote that Barça is the only legal institution that unites the man on the street with the Catalonia that could have been and was not. The great anniversaries have been favorable occasions for the club to involve great Catalan figures from the cultural world in its activities. Names such as Josep Segrells, Joan Miró, and Antoni Tapis have signed commemorative posters, just as Joan Pikers and the writer Josep Maria Espinas, on the occasion of the club's 75th anniversary, wrote the lyrics for Cant del Barça, the current anthem, with music by Manuel Valls. The Blaugrana world has also been a source of inspiration in the plastic arts, with names such as Jordi Alumà, Josep Maria Subirachs, Antoni Tapis, or Josep Viladomat, who made the Avi del Barça sculpture in the La Masia. Salvador Dalí paid tribute to the club's 75th anniversary with an etching. In performing arts, music has also been present, from the tango that Gardel dedicated to Sami Tir to the songs of Joan Manuel Serrat, La Trinca, and many others. Theatre has also been a good way to express the feelings of Barça fans, from the El Paralelo cuples from before the Civil War or skits like El Partido del Domingo, by Castanos, to more recent texts, like El Culcul, by Xavier Bosch. In times of political difficulty or lack of freedoms, Barça has been a refuge and means of expression for cultural and artistic activities. In 2013, the club highlighted the Barça Cultura Plan, an initiative that promotes the area of institutional relations and protocol with the aim of offering Barcelona as a platform to promote culture in Catalonia. In 2022, Barcelona and Òmnium sign an agreement to promote the Catalan language, culture, and the country. There are many documentaries and films that have been created throughout history to capture the successes and journey of the club over the years. More. Recently, in December 2022, Amazon Prime Video released a 5-episode docuseries called FC Barcelona, A New Era. It documented the club by spending time with the coaching staff and players behind the scenes both on and off the field throughout their 2021-22 season. In September 2023, Amazon Prime Video launched the second season with a 5-episode docuseries. It focuses on their 2022-23 behind-the-scenes season. Records. In March 2021, Lionel Messi overtook Xavi's record of 767 games played for the club, and presently has made 778 official appearances in all competitions, while also holding the record for the most appearances in La Liga matches for Barcelona, with 520. Barcelona's all-time highest goalscorer in official competitions is Lionel Messi with 672 goals, surpassing Cesar Rodriguez's 232 goals in March 2012, a record which stood for 60 years. In December 2020, Messi also overtook Pelé's 643 goals for Santos to become the highest official scorer for a single club. Messi is the record goalscorer for Barcelona in European and international club competitions, and the record league scorer with 474 goals in La Liga. Four other players have managed to score over 100 league goals for Barcelona: Cesar Rodriguez, Luis Suarez, Laszlo Kubola, and Samuel Eto'o. Josep Samitier is the club's highest goalscorer in the Copa del Rey, with 64 goals. Laszlo Kubola holds the La Liga record for most goals scored in one match, with 7 goals against Sporting Gijón in 1952. Lionel Messi co-holds the Champions League record with 5 goals against Bayer Leverkusen in 2012. Eulogio Martinez became Barca's top goalscorer in a cup game, when he scored 7 goals against Atletico Madrid in 1957. Barcelona goalkeepers have won a record number of Zamora trophies, with Antoni Ramallets and Victor Valdés winning a record 5 each. Valdés had a ratio of 0.832 goals conceded per game, a La Liga record, and he also holds the record for longest period without conceding a goal in all competitions for Barcelona. Claudio Bravo has the record of best unbeaten start in a season in La Liga history, at 754 minutes. Barcelona's longest-serving manager is Jack Greenwell, with 9 years in 2 spells, and Pep Guardiola is the club's most successful manager. The most successful Barcelona player is Lionel Messi with 35 trophies, surpassing Andrés Iniesta, with 32 trophies. Barcelona's Camp Nou is the largest stadium in Europe. The club's highest home attendance was 120,000 in a European Cup quarter-final against Juventus on 3 March, 1986. The modernization of Camp Nou during the 1990s and the introduction of all-seater stands means the record will not be broken for the foreseeable future, as the current capacity of the stadium is 99,354. El Barça de les Cinc Copes is the first team in Spanish football to have won 5 trophies in a single season. Barcelona is the only club to have played in every season of European competitions since they started in 1955, counting non-UEFA competition Intercities Fairs Cup on 18 December 2009, alongside being the only Spanish club to achieve a continental treble. Barcelona became the first ever European football team to win 6 trophies in a calendar year. In January 2018, Barcelona signed Philippe Coutinho from Liverpool for €120 million, the highest transfer fee in club's history. In August 2017, Barcelona player Neymar transferred to Paris Saint-Germain for a world record transfer fee of €222 million. In 2016, Barcelona's La Masia was ranked second by the International Centre for Sport Studies as the most top-level players producing academy in the world. Kits and crest. The first crest worn by Barca from 1899 to 1910, and second crest, designed by Carles Comamala in 1910. The club's original crest was a quartered diamond-shaped crest topped by the crown of Aragon and the bat of King James, and surrounded by two branches, one of a laurel tree and the other a palm. The club shared Barcelona's coat of arms, as a demonstration of its identification with the city and a desire to be recognized as one. In 1910, the club held a competition among its members to design a new crest. The winner was Carles Comamala, who at the time played for the club. Comamala's suggestion became the crest that the club wears today, with some minor variations. The crest consists of the St. George cross in the upper left corner with the Catalan flag beside it, and the team colours at the bottom. The blue and garnet colours of the shirt were first worn in a match against Hispania in 1900. Several competing theories have been put forth for the blue and garnet design of the Barcelona shirt. The son of the first president, Arthur Whitty, claimed it was the idea of his father as the colours were the same as the Merchant Taylors' school team. Another explanation, according to author Tony Struble, is that the colours are from Robespierre's First Republic. In Catalonia, the common perception is that the colours were chosen by Joan Gamper and are those of his home team, FC Barcelona. Notes. 1. The first kit worn by the club in 1899. In the 1999-2000 season, a similar model was worn to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the club and 2024-25 season with an original model. 2. Traditional Barcelona uniform. 3. The club used horizontal stripes during the 2015-16 season. 4. The club used a checkered design during the 2019-20 season. 5. The club used halved shorts and a crest-inspired shirt during the 2021-22 season. Kit suppliers and shirt sponsors. Since 1998, the club has had a kit deal with Nike. In 2016, the deal was renewed until 2028 for a record €155 million per year. The contract includes a clause sanctioning penalty or agreement termination anytime if Barcelona fail to qualify for the European competitions or is relegated from La Liga. In 2023, Barcelona became the revenue leader from the sale of kits and merchandising in Europe with a turnover of €179 million. Although Spanish clubs first began displaying sponsor names on their shirts in 1981, Barcelona held off having a name across the front of the shirt until 2006, when the club signed an agreement to have UNICEF's name on their front. Unlike traditional deals, this was not to have paying money to the club, but instead to have the club raise money for UNICEF. In 2011, the club signed its first commercial shirt sponsorship deal, when it reached an agreement with Qatar Foundation. Period kit manufacturer shirt main sponsor. Shirt sub-sponsor. 1899, 1982 none. 1982, 1992 Maber 1992, 1998 Kappa 1998, 2003. Nike. 2003, 2004. Forum 2004, 2006. TV3. 2006, 2011. UNICEF 2011, 2013. Qatar Foundation TV3 and UNICEF 2013, 2014. Qatar Airways. UNICEF. 2014, 2017. BICO and UNICEF. 2017, 2021. Rakuten. 2021, 2022. UNICEF. 2022, 2023. Spotify. UNHCR 2023. Amberlight TV and UNHCR. Throughout its history, the club has had various official songs. The anthem in use today is Cant del Barça, composed in 1974 on the occasion of the club's 75th anniversary. Authors Josep Maria Espinas and Joan Pikers composed the lyrics in Catalan, while the music was composed by Manuel Valls. The song was first performed on the 27th of November, 1974 at Camp Nou before the match between FC Barcelona and the East Germany national team by a 3,500-man choir led by Oriol Martorell. On November 28, 1988, in celebration of the club's centenary, the song was performed by Catalan singer-songwriter Joan Manuel Serrat at the end of the festival at Camp Nou. Since the 2008-09 season, El Cant del Barça has been featured on the official Barcelona jerseys. On the occasion of the club's 124th anniversary and with the start of preparations for the 125th anniversary, the club presented a new anthem version recording faithful to the essence of the original score and lyrics composed in 1974, with a better quality and enhanced orchestration and vocals. Composed by the Valles Symphony Orchestra, the Orfeo Català Choral Society and the Cor Jove Youth Choir, it is the current official version. El Cant del Barça is turned on before Barcelona games take place at Camp Nou, especially during matches against Real Madrid and just before the start of the meeting. The song is also often played for supporters and fans to cheer, chant, and celebrate the victory. Barcelona initially played on different fields. One of the first to represent a fixed venue was the Camp de la Industria. The capacity was about 6,000, and club officials deemed the facilities inadequate for a club with growing membership. In 1922, the number of supporters had surpassed 20,000 and by lending money to the club, Barça was able to build the larger Camp de les Corts, which had an initial capacity of 20,000 spectators. After the Spanish Civil War, the club started attracting more members and a larger number of spectators at matches. This led to several expansion projects: the Grandstand in 1944, the Southern Stand in 1946, and finally the Northern Stand in 1950. After the last expansion, Les Corts could hold 60,000 spectators. Anthems. Stadium. After the construction was complete, there was no further room for expansion at Les Corts. Back-to-back La Liga titles in 1948 and 1949 and the signing of Laszlo Kubola in June 1950, who would later go on to score 196 goals in 256 matches, drew larger crowds to the games. The club began to make plans for a new stadium. The building of Camp Nou commenced on the 28th of March, 1954, before a crowd of 60,000 Barça fans. The first stone of the future stadium was laid in place under the auspices of Governor Felipe Acedo Colunga and with the blessing of Archbishop of Barcelona Gregorio Modrego. Construction took 3 years and ended on the 24th of September, 1957 with the final cost of 288 million pesetas, 336% over budget. In 1980, when the stadium was in need of redesign to meet UEFA criteria, the club raised money by offering supporters the opportunity to inscribe their name on the bricks for a small fee. The idea was popular with supporters, and thousands of people paid the fee. Later this became the center of controversy when media in Madrid picked up reports that one of the stones was inscribed with the name of longtime Real Madrid chairman and Franco supporter Santiago Bernabeu. In preparation for the 1992 Summer Olympics, 2 tiers of seating were installed above the previous roofline. It has a current capacity of 99,354, making it the largest stadium in Europe. In December 2021, a record 88% of the club members voted in favor of the Espai Barça project to revamp the club's sporting facilities, being the first online referendum in FC Barcelona history. Originally projected to have been completed in 2021, renovation work on Camp Nou began on the 1st of June, 2023 and it is now aimed to finish by the end of 2026, with an estimated €1.5 billion net funding. During the renovation period, Barcelona will move for the entire 2023-24 season to Estadi Olympic Lewis companies in Montjuic, expecting to return in November 2024, with the stadium still under construction. There are also other facilities, which include Ciutat Esportiva Joan Gamper Maixa Centre de Formació Oriol Tort Estadi Johan Cruyff Palau Blaugrana. Palau Blaugrana 2. Honours.